Just got back from the butcher's. I'm going to give these up, pasties, but just 2 for today. I've had a bit of a shock and I need something to calm the nerves, you know. So I picked up 2 chicken breasts and 4 sausages. So I'll pop them into the fridge in a moment. And I've also had a lovely gift from 2 viewers who have sent me this rusty sign, and I will put this up on, well, I'll put it up here for now, and then when I get a bit of string I'll hang it from the clock. So we'll make a cup of tea in a minute. Yes, so my gas bill and my electric has turned up, and I don't know whether this is good or bad. I'm actually waiting for the greengrocer to turn up. He drives around in a little van, and I want to get some bacon. The bacon he sold last week was gorgeous, so we're going to get some more bacon and some vegetables because I'm running a bit low. But the energy bill, so this is for the first month. And like I said, I don't know, is this bad? Is it good? You tell me. So let me tell you, the entire bill for January has come to £286. It's actually 285.66, but £286 plus charges, so that's £288.54p for gas and for electric. Is that good? I've got no idea, and I will always use the first month as a sort of baseline as we go forward. So February is usually a bit colder than January, but in March I would hope to see a reduction in these numbers. So is that good? Tell me below, and then I can put my mind at ease to see whether they've overestimated. I've asked a few people in the village and they've all said that sounds quite cheap to them. So £300 just for the first month. So for electric it's £87.50. For gas, £120, and that is how much I've used. And then obviously with all the charges on top, it then comes to that first figure that I gave you. What's quite good is, I would imagine all this is on a smart device, because you can see how much you've used. So obviously when I first moved in, I went a bit mad with things. I am tempted to do a test and switch the not switch the gas off, but don't use the gas for 24 hours just to make sure, because if I do that I should see a dip in the line, and the same with the electric. Just switch that off for 24 hours and just make sure that it comes up on the reading, because if those prices continue I might end up in the soup kitchen. Talking about soup, I found this bag while I was cleaning. I must have brought it down with me, and I've never seen them before. A country soup mix. So it says, because I've never used them, soak 100 grams of soup mix in 500 millilitres of cold water for 8 to 12 hours. So I better start that now. I can't remember if I've showed you this. That's my new tea caddy. So I will be going to fill that up with loose leaf tea soon. So right, let me get my measuring jug and we will make some country soup. Well, at least start the process. Do you remember these bowls? They were a very popular brand during the 70s. I saw them in a shop a couple of months ago and I thought I have to get them. On the side they've got pictures of some vegetables, so ideal for soup. Now this says put 100 grams with 500 milliliters of water, but that's not a lot. I thought you put the whole packet in. So maybe I'll get a few soups out of the one packet. There you go. That's as good as 100 for me. And then it says add 500 milliliters of cold water. And then we leave it for at least 8 hours. So maybe this will be what I eat tomorrow. Because I think it's a bit too late now, by the time it has a good 8-hour stint. And then we're supposed to wash it. Right. Just put that to one side and probably forget about it for 3 days. The greengrocer has just been. So I've bought my weekly veg. Works out slightly more expensive than going to the shops by £1 or £2. But the thing is, they come to your front door. Thought I'd treat myself to some strawberries. So I bought a nice Savoy cabbage. And I bought eggs, like he said, fresh this morning. They were in the chicken at dawn. So we'll pop them in our little ceramic hen here. 12 will do me. Oh, I think it's going to be a bit much. There it is. Do you have one of these? They're very old-fashioned. I think just slide that one in there. Oh, just about fitted them in. I got some of these potatoes because I had these last week and they were absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what variety they are. So like I said, it's been a month now, starting to get into a trend of things. Obviously, it would be better if the sun would be out, but that is something to look forward to for the summer. I'm hoping next week I've got a bike turning up, very special bike, and I've got a place in mind to take you to show you some of the really fantastic views. This bacon was really nice. I had it last week and it's thick cut bacon. And I thought I'd try one of these. Not quite sure what's in it. A leek. It looks a bit on the scraggly side. But you've got to try these things. Take everything out of the plastic. Parsnips. I think the cost of all this was about £12. Maybe £15 because I had strawberries as well. Also, carrots, good looking carrots, 2 onions, and a very big swede. So I'm going to have to start to eat some of this food. I don't want to throw food out. So who knows? I'm not going to have cowl this weekend. I'm a bit cowled out, to be honest. But what I might do is sort of make cowl, but add chicken rather than lamb. Right, there's some bags for the bin. I'm going to make a cup of tea now. What's the time? Oh yes, time for tea, and maybe even a biscuit from the old biscuit tin. And then I've got to crack on and do some work on the computer. Now I've borrowed this from one of the neighbours, and when they gave it to me they said please take it and keep it. And that's quite good because I've had to take the top off because sometimes the tapes are getting stuck. So I've got a load of these VHS tapes And in order to transfer, it was a bit of a faff. You had to put it through a computer and then process it and everything. But I've recently found this little device here. So you put the wires in, and it's as simple as switching it on and using this as a monitor. We put the SD card in, and then when it plays, you can just press record, and that's it, it's done. The problem is these tapes are about 30 years old, so some of them are not that good and they're getting stuck. So let us see if this works. So far so good. Is everything moving? Right, I'm going to press record now. Just simply press it, that's it. And it should, if there's anything on this tape, come out here. But because these tapes are so old, I'm actually afraid to go fast forward and backwards. And right, that didn't work. Now I'm getting this on quite a few of my tapes. And I think it could be as simple as the fact that the tape is stuck together. So I'm trying to go fast forward and backwards to try and no, that's not going to work. But I did manage to do a transfer last night of a few things, and then once you get it onto this device, it's a case of just taking the SD card out, popping it into the computer, and then doing whatever. So what I've done is I've started a YouTube channel which is just for my tapes. So for the majority of people, unless you come from the area, you aren't going to find it at all interesting. But it's called SJC Archive, and I will put the link in the description below. But like I said, if you are not from the area, then it could be quite a boring thing to watch. And also, because these tapes are quite old, the tape quality is not as good as today's cameras. Right, let's try a different tape. So this tape was from 1992, and it's of a gardening show that I used to make, which nobody used to see because we didn't have YouTube in those days, but it was just something that I used to film for my own enjoyment. This is September 1992. I'm planting tulips. So then in order to record, you just press record button and then it's done. So this is me in the garden recording a little feature on lights, how to have lights in the garden.
Well, that's all from today's edition of Gardening Made Easy. I hope you join us next week when we will be talking about lights in the garden. So until then, from us all, bye-bye.
Then you press stop, and it is done. I can then either record some more, and what's so good about this as well, another feature is, say now I wanted to go to the gardening club to show them a video from the gardening show. I can just take it, it's got sound as well. So I'll be able to take this to the gardening club to show people. But just be aware, if you do sign up to the YouTube channel, a lot of it is going to be quite boring because you won't know who they are. Well, it's 24 hours since I saw you last. I've not been well over the last 24 hours. My chronic fatigue syndrome has come back with a bit of a bang. I think I'm being told to slow down. And I just remembered this soup that we started yesterday. And look at it, there's peas in there. They've just inflated from somewhere. So I think I need to get the instructions and find out what I'm supposed to do next with it. But I'm not feeling that hungry now, but I've committed to it. So it says drain and rinse thoroughly. And then put back into a saucepan and cook for an hour. I think I'll just get a tin next time. I have never known such a faff to have something to eat. Wash thoroughly. Okay. Just to make sure it's not coming out at the other end. So I've got 500 milliliters of water. Pop this mixture in, and I've just checked the packet and it said to cook for 10 minutes. Doesn't really look that appetizing, does it? While I was in the high street today, I'm not having cowl this weekend. I'm a bit cowled out. I'm going to have something with chicken instead. I went and I bought some more of the English breakfast tea. So this cost £2.10 and 35 kilograms. Is that right? I'm too tired to even think. So I'm going to pop this into my new tea caddy. But if you think, now that's £3, what was it, £2.10, and that will probably see me through, based on that last little pinch that I had. I think this will see me through for about 6 weeks. I was going to take this down to the shop and say, can you fill it? But based on that, I think it would probably cost about £15–20. And I thought it's better to buy it in small amounts, because then it doesn't go off. Because tea does go off like everything else in the kitchen. Right, so we've got a cup of tea. We've got this horrendous soup cooking. Yeah, I'm glad I picked up a pasty today, because that doesn't look thrilling. Maybe you need to whiz it up or something. Let's have another read. I'm not going to do this again. Place on a pan on the medium heat for 10 minutes. Reduce. Hold on. Bring to the boil for 10 minutes. Then reduce the heat to a low simmer for an hour. Drain thoroughly, rinse and use as required. What? So you need to cook it and then rinse it again. I'll stick to my tins of Heinz. I'll do this once and then it's off. It's going out. Just going to show this the door. How much is this going to cost? Cost of living and all that, you know. Oh, it won't be long to spring. That's why we've got to keep the hope up. The weather in Wales this week has been awful. It's done nothing but rain and rain and rain. We had one day of sunshine, which is the day that you saw me in the garden. And this week was the first time that I actually caught myself thinking, have I made a mistake? Right, let's have a cup of tea and the world will seem fine. I've got one of these like poncho things to keep me warm. Now, when I came to Wales, I said to myself, I wouldn't mind getting into a bit of art, a bit of painting. Something I used to do a long, long time ago. And for some reason, I've bought a DIY kit. And I thought, an hour and it'll be finished. I literally thought you would just put the 4 sides together and it would be done. But no, look at this. This is like an actual proper kit. It's even got the trees that you need to build the trees as well. and then there's a light to go inside. And apparently what you will build is a greenhouse. There's a picture of what it's supposed to look like. But based on my little attempt at trying to fix the laptop, fix the iPad, I'm not holding out much hope. It just seems to be a load of bits and bobs. So the plan was I was going to film this, but even I think this would be a boring video. And I can't see that I would do it in the one evening. So this might be something that remains in a box for quite a few years before going to the charity shop. But I did get a book today, turned up in the post. So let me just go and get that, and I'll tell you about it. So I don't know anything about this book. It was recommended by one of you. I can't remember who it was now, to be honest. I saw it, they said go off and buy it, so I did. It is called I Bought a Mountain, from the 1940s. It first came out in 1946. My eyes are getting terrible. I need to set up a light here so that I can read. I think that says August 1940. So it's interesting to have a book that you don't know anything about, because usually when we get books, we have a sort of idea. So I might have a quick read of it myself, and I will let you know whether it's worth doing a video about. Chapter 1, The Purchase. I first saw Dufferin in a November gale. As I rounded a spur of... I can't read this. I need to sort my lights out. I'm straining. Let me have a look what I can do here. Let me try and pull this lamp a bit closer. It's a sign of getting old, see? You can't see anymore. Chapter 1, The Purchase. I first saw Dufferin in a November gale. As I rounded a spur of a hill to turn into a long valley, the full power of the storm caught the car. An abandoned lorry, blown onto its side, half blocked the road. As I crept past it, an eddying gust swooped down, plucked at the car's horn, and ripped it. Let me go and get my glasses. I can't find my glasses. I need a pair of glasses in order to find them. This is one of the books that I wrote back in 2001 called Voices of the Rhondda. It was originally called Rhondda Voices, but they changed it. And it's just a collection of stories. There's a picture of me here down the market on a Thursday to go and get the food, and you could have a picture taken with a monkey. A monkey. Every Thursday was market day, and people used to travel to Cherokee to see if they could get a bargain. I remember going there every few weeks with different members of my family or family friends. One Thursday I went with my Uncle Len. He needed to get some things for the house, and I was bored with playing in the street, so off to the market we went. Catching the double-decker bus from outside the Smith's Arms, we travelled down to Cherokee. After spending about an hour walking around endless stalls, I once again became bored, so we headed back to the bus stop. As we were walking over the bridge that leads to the main road, we came across a travelling man who was holding a monkey. I was intrigued by the monkey, not knowing quite what it was. I looked into its eyes, and it smiled back. showing its teeth and grinning. Still being slightly afraid, the man asked if I wanted to have my picture taken with it. I didn't answer, but my uncle agreed and gave the man a £1 note, which was a lot of money in the 70s. The man wrote down my uncle's name into a small brown notepad, and we headed home. It wasn't until I was researching the book that I discovered this photograph lying in a drawer. It is hard to believe that this happened. Imagine if you went to a market these days and a travelling man tried to take a picture with you with a monkey. We returned to the market a few weeks later, and my uncle picked up the picture of me and a monkey in Torquay Market. There you go. And that's the picture. There is a link to this if you'd like to buy one. I don't know if they're still in print, because it was 2002 it came out. Anyway, as you can tell, I'm feeling a bit tired, so I'm going to have a cup of tea and have an early night. So I'll catch up with you next time. So I'll catch up with you then. The cats are in here, that's why I'm getting distracted. They're sniffing around. So far they haven't discovered the chair. This is mine, all mine. Right, I'm going to have a cup of tea and I'll catch up with you next time. So from me until then, bye for now.